All right, let's get right into it. We're breaking down a really compelling document that came out in September 2025. It was published by a doctor in southern Spain, and, well, it's his story, a powerful denunciation of what he calls years of systemic harassment. It's really a look at one person standing up against the state.
You know, this one sentence right here, pulled straight from his document, pretty much says it all. It's the core of his entire argument. He's basically claiming that there are two different systems of justice in the country, one for the well-connected and a totally different one for everybody else. This idea really sets the stage for the personal story he's about to tell. So let's start with his biggest claim, the accusation he's leveling against the very system that's supposed to be there to protect people.
Now, according to Dr. Aga's account, he did everything by the book. He didn't just get upset. He filed official, formal complaints with anti-corruption prosecutors at every single level of government, local, regional, and national. And what happened? He claims every single one was just rejected, archived, and filed away. Basically, he was silenced before any investigation could even get off the ground.
And here's the key. For him, this isn't just some administrative error or a simple mix-up. He actually calls it a systemic silence. From his perspective, when the state refuses to even look into a citizen's claims, it's doing more than just ignoring him. He argues it's actively violating his fundamental constitutional rights under both Spanish law and European Union law.
So why does he think this is happening to him? Well, to explain that, the author lays out this whole framework for how he sees Spanish society. He calls it the theory of the two Spains.
And this slide really breaks down his point of view. On one side, you've got what he calls the protected class. Think politicians, civil servants, basically anyone whose income is guaranteed by the state. But then, on the other side, there's the vulnerable class. That's the self-employed, the small business owners, people like him. He argues that this second group is just buried under bureaucracy and has to work to prop up the other, more privileged class.
Okay, so we've heard the big societal theory. Now let's drill down into the personal story that Dr. Aga uses as his main piece of evidence.
The timeline he provides seems to show a pretty clear pattern. It all kicks off way back in 2010. He says 2 of his clinics were shut down right after he reported some local corruption. So he moves, opens a new clinic, and then he says he's hit with years of nonstop harassment and inspections. Fast forward to April 2023, he tries to expand his clinic, but his permit gets blocked. And then it all comes to a head in September 2025 with this huge, unexpected fine.
And there's the number, 50,000 euros. That's the fine he was suddenly hit with from the tax agency, something he claims he knew nothing about beforehand. He's very clear in his writing he doesn't see this as a legitimate debt. To him, it's, and I quote, the price of silencing our voice. It's a number he believes that's meant to be a final knockout punch.
So that brings us back to this stalled expansion. I mean, his request to grow his small clinic has been stuck in limbo for over 2 years. So what's the official reason for a delay that's basically putting a stop to his career growth?
Well, according to his document, the official reason given was just unbelievable. Apparently, moving a single piece of equipment just 6 meters, that's about 20 feet, across a room was classified as a structural modification. And because of that, it required a whole new, incredibly complex permit process. He presents this as a completely absurd excuse, something just designed to block him at every turn.
It's also really interesting to look at the man making these claims. Dr. Aga is obviously highly educated. We're talking 5 university degrees, 7 master's degrees, and he speaks 7 languages. But maybe the most powerful detail here is his backstory. He actually fled a dictatorship in Syria way back in 1985, and he came to Spain specifically looking for the freedom to work and build a life in a democracy.
He uses this phrase over and over in his testimony, "Welcome to Spain." It's meant to be bitter, it's ironic, and it really captures this deep sense of betrayal he feels. He's basically saying that the very state system that's supposed to help people is being used as a weapon to crush him.
So what's the point of publishing all of this? In the last part of his document, Dr. Aga is very direct. This isn't just venting, it's a public appeal for help. It's a call to action.
He lays out 3 clear goals. First, he wants to publicly name the government agencies he says are responsible. Second, he's putting out a call to lawyers and legal experts, not just in Spain but around the world, hoping someone will take up his case. And third, he is formally demanding financial compensation from the Spanish government for all the damages he claims he suffered for more than a decade.
You get the sense he knows that trying to be heard inside the system he's criticizing might be a lost cause. So his strategy is to go around it, to go global. He's translating his story into 9 different languages and putting it out there as a document, a podcast, and a video. He's trying to build international pressure that can't be so easily swept under the rug.
And that really leaves us with this final big question. Dr. August's story is, of course, deeply personal, but it points to something much bigger, something universal. Regardless of how his specific case turns out, his testimony forces you to ask, in any country, in any system, what happens when one person's voice, no matter how determined, comes up against a great wall of institutional silence?